It just turns me on. It's something I love.
Salvador comes of age.
Listen, I think I got all my comedy from my father.
Patrick Idringi, aka Salvador, the man from Ombokolo, has set himself apart in the industry of comedy.
I know Salvador, and he's a very amazing and talented guy, and comedy is different from music in a way where people get to laugh a lot. I can't wait to laugh.
Comedy
The comedy industry is growing. Like my boyfriend is hosting this show tonight and makes me feel proud.
When he disclosed that he wanted to be added onto the Serena sellout list, many thought it was one of his funny jokes. But my oh my, the man from Ombokolo's maiden comedy show was a complete sellout.
You were paid, and I got a job working for this company whose crocodiles eat bananas.
About Town is your social friend that brings you up to speed with everything about your city or town in entertainment, sports, leisure, travel, fashion, lifestyle events, news, and so much more.
A new generation of babies are waking up happier in a new generation of pants. New Pampers pants, easy to put on, easy to tear off. And with Super Gel, they absorb wetness instantly, keeping your baby's skin dry for up to 12 hours. For a new generation of happy babies, try new Pampers pants. Pampers, love, sleep and play.
Tukomye kati okufumbiza abawala abatanneetuuka. Ffenna tulina okukolera awamu okukomya okufumbiza abawala abatanneetuuka. Abakazi obukadde 3 baafumbirwa tebannaweza myaka 18. Bangi ku bano bali wakati w'emyaka 249. Ebirooto by'abakazi bano bingi eby'obulamu obweyagaza tebigenda kutuukirira. NTV egenda kukulaga ebikwata ku kufumbiza abaana abatanneetuuka n'obulabe Uganda bwefunye ne bwegenda okufuna mu kino. Naawe tubuulire ky'omanyi, kye wali owulidde oba ekyakutuukako. Olina ky'okola okukomya omuze guno? Tubuulire ng'oyita ku mukutu gwa NTV ku Facebook ne Twitter. Ku Twitter osobola okugatta UNICEF n'aba U-Report mu mboozi yo. Ky'otubuulidde tujja kukigabana n'abalala ku NTV. Baako ekirungi ky'osiga mu baana ba Uganda. Tukolere wamu tutuuke ku kwolesebwa n'ebiruubirirwa bya Uganda eby'omwaka 2040.
Now, not so many people will prophesy and give an accurate or an exact date. Prophet Elvis, before this event, said there's going to be a tsunami on the 26th, that's Boxing Day, 2004, and it came to pass.
But our brother, Elvis Mbonye, has given a new angle and a new face that gives hope that our nation, after all, still has a chance.
So what really is prophecy? Well, when you see prophecy, when you encounter prophecy, you will know what it is.
No more waiting for your client to view their ads only when there's a TV screen. Your ads can be mobile and extremely affordable. Advertise for as little as 15,000 shillings on NTV Mobi and be seen everywhere. If you don't have an ad, our epic graphics team is waiting to put an ad together for you. At NTV, there's no such thing as a small business. Be part of the experience. Call now. NTV Mobi. Advertising redefined.
Where does the time go?
I want us to be like we used to be.
Walking down this road throughout my friend.
What?
Why are you defending her, Chris?
I'm not. I'm just being... The best you could do is to go away, stab my back.
6 years ago, I had a child. I went home to know that.
What?
When it's tears in your eyes. It's not the same.
Deception, where everything is not what it seems.
Suraj, please help me out. Babu was accusing you of some necklace that has gone missing from the house.
Sandhya, what you intend to do and what you don't, I don't have the patience and the strength to understand that anymore.
All these allegations were leveled against me. Then, how can I feel happy today? My reputation was maligned by everyone.
I firmly believe that she's a liar. She's not innocent.
Leave her hand right now! I will not. I will make their life miserable if anyone tries to touch or see my sister. Got it?
I will not listen to you. No way.
Oh no, what should I do now?
Made for each other every Monday to Friday, 6:30 p.m.
Digital Migration Tips is brought to you by StarTimes. Did you know that you can buy a TV with an inbuilt decoder? If your TV has a weak signal, buy an external antenna to boost it. A free-to-air decoder is not free. You will have to buy it. However, you will not have to pay a monthly subscription. You will have to pay a monthly subscription for a pay TV decoder. A free-to-air decoder can pick up to 24 free-to-air local channels. A pet TV decoder can give you an unlimited number of channels. Now everyone can afford digital television with StarTimes.
Effective Monday, 6 July, screening time for your favorite drama series, The Hostel, is Monday at 7:35 p.m. Behind Closed Doors will air Wednesday to Friday at 8:05 p.m. and repeats on Saturdays at 3 p.m. Brave Woman will be showing on Tuesdays and Wednesdays at 10 p.m. and repeats will air on Thursdays and Fridays at 11:30 a.m. Raise the praise. Get inspiration. Rise up every morning with a song of praise to the Lord. A day in your courts is better than 1,000 elsewhere. Soul Moment, every Monday to Friday at 6 a.m.
Actually, how do I tell her that I'm going to the market to eat some snacks and spicy food? Babu, if you say no, then I won't go anywhere.
It is good. For once, you're doing something sensible. Going to the temple often will be good for the baby and for your crazy head as well.
This is NTV.
A very good evening and welcome this edition of The Fourth Estate. Charles Mwangu Shampagi, and tonight we continue our discussion on the political roadmap that we're discussing ahead of the 2016 general elections. Last Sunday, we brought you aspirant for the National Resistance Movement, Amama Mbabazi, and you saw the developments that happened during the week. Tonight, we bring you what many consider a veteran opposition who first disagreed with the National Resistance in 1999. Retired Colonel Dr. Kiza Besigye, he's again picked up nomination forms to run for the flag of the party he founded or helped found with others, the Forum for Democratic Change. Dr. Besigye, you're most welcome to the Fourth Estate.
Thank you very much, and always a pleasure to be here. A very good evening to all the NTV viewers and listeners out there.
We also have a man who's a veteran at many things. He's a veteran at journalism and also has had a stint serving politics and serving at State House. Ona Pito Ekomoloit is Corporate Affairs Director of Nile Breweries, SAB Miller. Ona has been a regular panelist here, so Ona, very nice to have you.
Thank you.
Or rather, regular guest.
Good evening. Thank you.
And my colleague.
No, but I first wanted to correct you. You said last week you had an aspirant. That is an illegal aspirant.
And my colleague, Chris Obore.
You should always add that on the Hank from Teso.
And what do they say about it? I have had people call you the Hank from Teso also. No. And I don't want to have to be caught in between two.
We believe in Iraq in Teso. We respect the elders.
Okay. Dr. Besigye, you picked nomination forms and are running for the presidency, for the flag of the Forum for Democratic Change. And the biggest question is, you are on record as having said you'll not participate in another election run by the same Kigundu Electoral Commission without electoral reform. Are you turning on your word?
Well, I was actually most shocked by the kind of responses my picking of nomination forms elicited from sections of the Ugandan elite. I must say it is just the elite. And that's what puzzles me more, because I would expect the elite to be more informed, more analytical, more understanding of situations. As you've said, I have never said that I won't contest in any elections. I've already said I will not contest in the same type of elections. And the struggle for reforms is on. We've spent 2 years rallying the country for reforms. And this is not a matter that should be of interest only to me as a candidate. This is a matter that should be, every Ugandan, certainly all the political elites should be seized with. Because we are talking about a country that has never had a decent election. A country that has never had one leader peacefully hand over to another, where every change is mediated by bombs and destruction and death. It's certainly a time when all Ugandans must be united to say, we've had enough of this.
I hear you, Doctor.
And the only way you can have peaceful change is when there is a credible election. And so my position is, I have had enough of rigged elections. I want to certainly participate in an election, but a decent election.
The situation you're confronted with.
And when we said that we shall have elections after reforms, some people immediately put the spin that we are calling for boycott. Not at all. We have never called for boycott. We have, all my entire adult life, I'm fighting for an election. Remember the war that broke out, led by none other than Mr. Museveni in 1980, was because of a bad election. So we want elections, definitely. I am anxious to engage in that process, but a decent election.
Now,
and therefore, why would anybody be surprised that I am picking forms to contest in an election when the struggle for reforms is still on?
It's actually not the struggle for reforms. You still have the same electoral commission running electoral processes in this country. You still have the same, what many people have called a useless constitutional amendment bill that doesn't speak to the fundamentals of reforms that people are demanding.
So what I would have expected the political elite to be saying is, where are those who have committed themselves to ensuring that this does not continue? Because, as I have said, today we have a situation where not just myself, but FDC, my party, all the opposition parties in parliament, other opposition parties outside parliament like PPP, like Betty Kamia's Federal Alliance, many civil society formations, where they have signed on to a document saying the only way we can have free and fair elections is to have these reforms. And where we have declared solemnly that we are going to fight for these reforms until they are instituted ahead of the next election.
Let's move
so
forward.
Those who signed on to that should be put to task.
Let's
now they are putting me to task, saying, why are you offering yourself?
No, they are putting you to task for one reason. You appeared to have eased out of these processes and said you're going to continue the fight outside the former party structure. They see you putting Mugisha Muntu, the man who took over from you, at a disadvantage because you haven't given him space and now you're competing with him.
That's indeed another accusation that has been leveled against me. Why am I giving other people space? In the FDC, we have term limits. You can only lead the party for 5 years, and if you are lucky to be chosen again, you can lead it for another 5 years and stop. I cut short both my terms at the FDC. The first term I served 4 years and cut it short for the purpose of building the party structures in FDC, because when the party was launched in there was hardly any time to build strong structures at the bottom. We decided to go back before that term was over, and when the elections came to the national level, I gave way and we had another election of the whole national executive. So my first term was 4 years. The second term was 3 years. And again, I cut short my term on my own will for a number of reasons, one of which was so that we have a new leader well ahead of the next general election. So that because I'm the very first leader of FDC, and it would have been, I think, unreasonable for the party on my behalf if we were changing leaders at the end of last year. General Muntu would have, if he was elected at the end of last year, he would have been in office for 6 months. The country would have hardly known him. So my intention was precisely to give another FDC leader ample time to be known by the country, to go around, to bring new ideas to the party and to the table, and so that by the time of the election, indeed, even me, I would have had to reflect whether the new leadership answers all what I need, in which case I would not have any reason to even step back and seek to hold the party's flag. But if that was not the case, then I would also obviously have the option to step back. And so I have not held any position in FDC for the last 3 years. So new structures have actually been built within FDC while I was away. So we have new structures right from the bottom. So how would my seek to contest stop anybody else for that matter?
Two things, and I want to bring in Nonapito here.
Yes.
Dr. Besigye faces another accusation, which I want... Because
No. We must dispose of this accusation
we're going to dispose of that because it's all related. The one is you appear to have a selfish interest. You've run for presidency 3 times now. You're giving it a 4th shot if you get nominated by the FDC. And comparisons are being run about you and President Yoweri Museveni and saying, what is the difference? You do not think that any other leader in FDC is good enough to run that party
yes,
to the
so
president.
since you are making the second accusation, let me first briefly respond to it. I am a very vigorous advocate of term limits, especially in transition countries like ours. And that is because people who occupy positions of power can use that power to entrench themselves and remain in those positions even when the will of the people is not in their favor. In other words, abuse their offices, abuse their power to remain in office. And that has been the challenge with the chief executives of our African countries. You know, using state power to remain in office. One could also say, argue in the same way that the chief executive of a party can use that power to entrench himself and remain in office. Now, I have not done that. As I have told you, I have been the chief executive and have, on my own volition, cut my terms half, short. I am not the chief executive of anything now. Mm-hmm. I would be contesting from the outside, as I have told you. But secondly, how can any reasonable person consider that if you apply for a job and you don't get it, you are the same as somebody who is in the job and the contract has ended and is reapplying again? Mm-hmm. You know, and you are saying, your argument is that if you apply for a job and you don't get it, you apply for a job the second time, you don't get it, you shouldn't apply. But even more seriously is the type of elections you are talking about. Every Ugandan agrees that our elections are problematic. Certainly we have court judgments that say these elections are not free or fair. So if the reasoning of those who are saying Besigye should not contest because he has contested 3 times and lost, because that's what they had, and lost, they are the same people who say the elections are not free or fair. So if I would be willing to listen to anybody who says you've lost 3 times, you shouldn't contest again, if that same person says those elections are credible.
But Dr. Besigye,
if I am nominated from Ruzira prison, I am nominated from Ruzira prison, charged by, indeed, they are charged as a result of abuse of office by some people, charged with rape, charged with terrorism, charged with treason, charged with illegal possession of firearms. I am in Ruzira when the incumbent president is campaigning. Any sane person, to my mind, or at least any fair-minded person, cannot say that you have lost that election fairly
and freely.
I
hear you.
And so if the elections are not free or fair, you cannot talk about a winner.
Yes, I hear you.
To the same extent, you
that.
cannot say you have lost elections 3 times. You cannot lose an unfree and unfair election.
When you stepped back in 2012, some of the plaudits you got were that you're showing the difference in leadership.
So Charles, maybe let me come in at that point. I mean, when you listen to our politicians like Dr. Besigye, you almost have to take pity on them. I think the crisis we are dealing with is larger than individuals. You almost have brand Ugandan politics, whereby our politics historically is characterized by 3 elements: violence, misapplication of the law by whoever is in charge, and then personalization of political organizations. Mm-hmm. Whichever direction you look at it, throughout history, you will struggle to find any so-called founding leader of a political organization who has left it before he's dead. Mm. And I think that's a crisis we have. And, you know, these are well-intentioned individuals, but somehow, maybe it's also a mix of our culture, the way we perceive leadership, right from the family, from the clans, that people tend to believe that you can always be there. If you feel you are the one who can still do it, that element of saying, I can step aside, even if I'm still good, even I'm capable, it doesn't exist. Chris, so I mean, so you can argue it whichever way. Certain Dr. Besigye's arguments are right, but also someone can argue that there are other reasons why he could step away. So it's really about the individuals and also the political culture of our society, which is a bit, it's a bit worrying because young people are seeing this and you're almost seeing that it's a question of, can you force your point? Can you, if necessary, use the law? If necessary, use violence to have your way?
Chris.
It's not a question of, it's not a moral question.
I need Chris to come in. The contest between General Muntu and Dr. Kiza Besigye for the leadership, I mean for the flag of the Forum for Democratic Change, is causing a lot of debate. People questioning Dr. Kiza Besigye's intentions.
I even don't know why people are questioning Dr. Besigye's intentions in this matter. And I'm also wondering why the majority questioning are NRM. I don't know what business they have questioning, however this is doing their business. This questioning of Besigye is meant to downplay so many significant things FDC has done. That the FDC is offering two good people to their supporters to choose from, while NRM is offering bad people to their supporters to choose from.
How many bad people?
Two bad people. They are offering Museveni, they are offering Mbabazi. Look at FDC.
What is the measure for bad?
They have been in power. I can go all that to tell you how bad they are. All the abused elections, they are the two who have been organizing. Why Dr. Besigye is talking about? Can you discount the Mbabazi in that? Can you discount the Museveni in that? One was a Secretary General, one was Minister of Security, one was a Prime Minister. All the bad law that inhibits him from being.
One was Minister of Defense and another Deputy Minister
of Defense. So NRM is offering two bad choices. FDC is offering two good choices. And NRM is busy chastising the choices of FDC. That's why I'm surprised. Mugisha Muntu is a gentleman. You hardly find anything personal to put on Mugisha Muntu. I would say that over and over. What will you put to the son of Kifefe? The charisma, the stamina, and FDC is the only party that even without the two, without Besigye and Muntu, can still offer you two good people. And these people are from across the region. If Besigye and Muntu are not there, I can guarantee you Alaso and Andala will be there. I can guarantee you Wafulo Gutu and Rigan Okumu will be there. These are all leaders. They don't come from one area. In NRM, outside Museveni and Mbabazi, you begin thinking who.
I thought you were going to mention Odongoto.
So Odongoto and NRM could offer on a Peter Komolo.
I'm happy that you have that thinking. So that is your thought. So my thought is that why can't the country reflect and say that the FDC, contrary to other parties so far, seems to be moving on a trajectory that is good for the country? Because the challenge between Muntu and Besigye is theirs. But for the country, we begin to see hope that they are moving in the direction we want. Instead, we are busy trying to trivialize their contestation. I want you to challenge me, you as an analyst. Which other party? Talk about DP, Charles. Mao and who problem. Go to UPC. It is a part of coups. It was overthrown by coups. Now it is still in the coups. Go to CP. FDC still provides you an avalanche of leadership to choose from. So we should not undermine that and begin saying, oh, Muntu, you should go. Besigye, why are you going there? They are testing their own democratic credentials. And to me, that's very important. NRM should be taking lessons.
I think, let me just come in and before Doctor comes in. I think, as I said, there is often, of course, we all tend to say we want to copy from other parts of the world, and there's nothing wrong with that. The good and bad, we avoid the bad, we pick the good. I think what people are looking at is, if you look at your counterparts, say in the US, in the UK, there's also this tendency to say, look, I take personal responsibility, even when I've done my best. If for some reason we have not been successful, you know, in our pursuit, even if you say the pursuit was unfairly tilted against us, but you are still willingly, you chose to be the leader of the FDC in that contest, knowing that the ground was unlevel. That alone could also maybe tell you that I deserve to take a rest because I made a mistake to trust a system that could not allow us to hold our victory. That is reason good enough for me to give others a chance.
But also, Dr. Comes, if I remember, you people, the doctor said he does not want an election which is not free and fair. and the process of electoral reforms is still ongoing.
But what if you really think between now and February anything is going to change?
Now, that's the problem now. That's the problem now. You want the people to take the way you think. What if reforms come in December?
Of course they won't come.
After nominations, what does Besigye do? Does he pick nomination reforms now after reforms have come in?
So if reforms don't come before February, are you going to relinquish the flag bearers?
Why should he relinquish?
Can you answer?
First of all, again, I'm actually, I must be honest, I get shocked.
Don't be shocked.
By
debates.
People who express views which are, at variance with their level of understanding. Because, how can one say that in FDC I have perpetuated my leadership in the party? I have just said that for the last 3 years, I don't hold any office. I am not a member of any organ of FDC. FDC has been going on with our party president, General Mugisha Muntu. I have appeared with General Mugisha Muntu at certain events of the party, and fully recognizing and supporting his leadership. There is nothing, I have actually not attended, most of the functions of the party. And decisions have been made in NEC, in the delegates' conferences, in National Council. They have held many meetings of the organs of the party, where I was not involved at all. So how would I be perpetuating, my brother here on Apito was suggesting that is the same in all, Ugandan political founders of political parties.
Founding leaders.
The reason actually we do so is to create a difference in FDC and to show the way.
But we need to pick this up after a short commercial break, but I'll put it to you. The other question has been, you have let your shadow hang over FDC and Muntu's leadership. But you respond to this after a short commercial break. We'll be right back.
Does a shadow
a shadow
Turning on your world.
So I'm here with you because I want to listen to your grievances.
Seba President, twebaza emirimu gy'okola wano ku ddwaliro lyaffe tetulina ddagala, abasawo batono, n'ambulensi tetulina. President Sebo, nze nteesa musemateeka w'eggwanga mututeeremu eddembe ly'omuntu ku by'obulamu Sebo.
You are welcome, Your Excellency the President. So here, our constitution is being amended. I request that you put in the right to health so that we can save our mothers, the children, and the health workers.
Are you sure you don't have all these services?
Yes, sir.
Oh, then this is not acceptable because it's an abuse of your right to health. I'm going to work with Parliament to make sure that all your concerns are solved. Yeah.
We call upon Parliament, Cabinet, the President, and the citizens of Uganda to support the constitutional amendments to include the right to health.
This message is brought to you by Ugandan National Health Consumers Organization, the right to speak out.
Does your skin get so dry it feels like it's cracking? Now with micro droplets of Vaseline jelly. Vaseline lotion deeply moisturizes dry skin. and keep skin smooth and restored for 3 times longer. That's the healing power of Vaseline.
Actually, how do I tell her that I'm going to the market to eat some snacks and spicy food? Babu, if you say no, then I won't go anywhere.
It is good. For once, you're doing something sensible. Going to the temple often will be good for the baby and for your crazy head as well.
You're still watching The Fourth Estate, featuring retired Colonel Dr. Kizza Besigye, founding president of the Forum for Democratic Change. He's contested for the presidency 3 times. On 2 occasions, those elections have been ruled by, in one election by 3 to 4 judges, saying they were neither free nor fair. No, they were not in compliance with electoral laws. I should put that clear. And in the second one in 2006 by 7-0. On both occasions, the Supreme Court did not overturn the elections, saying that the inadequacies in conducting those elections were not substantial enough to justify an overturning of the result won by President Yoweri Museveni. In 2011, Dr. Kizza Besigye contested again, and this time round decided he wouldn't go to the normal judicial courts, but go to the Court of Public Opinion. Dr. Besigye, you left leadership of the FDC in 2012. The contest between Mugisha Muntu and Nandala Mafabi caused a lot of acrimony. And throughout the time, the other accusation against you has been that your shadow has been overhanging the leadership of Muntu. That loyalties have remained to be divided because you didn't fully disengage or fully support him to execute his functions as president. And now, you're again contesting against him. He's contested against you before for the flag of the FDC.
Now, first of all, I would like to say that most of the commentators actually here talking about the politics of our country today don't seem to focus on what the problem we are grappling with is. They seem to think that there is some kind of a reasonable democratic dispensation in which there is a ruling party and opposition parties. That is completely false. That is not the situation we are addressing. And so I would like Ugandans to understand my role in the politics. I have never set out to be a politician, by the way. I was forced into politics by the terrible political environment in which our country found itself.
If you're talking about 1981,
yes,
when you joined the Bush struggle,
yes,
to 2015,
yes,
you're talking about almost 35 years of experience.
Yes,
that makes
yes.
you, no, almost 35 years of experience. That makes you a politician. That's a long career in politics.
Yes, and I've said I did not set out to become that. I have been trapped into that because of what the political environment in our country has been. And what has it been? You see, what we are dealing with is the colonial state of Uganda, where all power over our people was captured by the colonial power, the British. We lived, therefore, as subjects of the British. They captured our power using the might of weapons. They did not capture our power because we offered it to them or we surrendered it. We were captured. We became captives. Unfortunately, that situation persists. We are still captives. The institutions created by the colonial order still persist and do the same functions. That's why we have a police that does not treat me as its master. It treats me as somebody they must, force and control, whether there is law or not. A police force that is serving the successor of the governor.
Doctor.
And I think even visually, Mr. Museveni resides in the house of the governor in Entebbe, and does exactly the same things the governor was doing, applies the state institutions in the same way, extracts resources from Ugandans and uses them the resources.
I have only seen one president in the world who has extracted himself from the house of the governor, and that is a gentleman called Mohika. Only one person.
Yes. So, for all intents and purposes, we have a captive citizenry, still captured by the controller of weapons. Our countries are led by warlords. We have no rights in these countries.
How does that speak to you?
Now, this is, just give me time. This is the situation that propelled me into politics.
I love that one. Yes. When you entered politics in 1980 or 81, you went with a group of others led by Yoweri Museveni to change this situation. Are you convinced that you spent 5 years practicing democracy in Luero and building a democratic organization, or you actually also created an organization that would replace the colonial state? Because I don't sympathize with people like you.
So you understand where I'm coming from. You've asked the question and I've heard it very clearly. Understand where I'm coming from. That therefore, the struggle we are involved in is a struggle for liberation, to take power from a narrow group of people that controls it using force. Previously it was the British. Today it's a clique, and these years post-independence it has been a clique of political elites and their military who have monopolized that power, controlled all our resources like the colonial administration did. The struggle, therefore, is a struggle for liberation, a struggle for restructuring of the state, to have state institutions that are owned by the people and controlled by the people. That is the struggle that we are talking about.
Yes.
It is the struggle I hoped would be mediated by the 1981-86 war. Because how do you dislodge these warlords? They are using guns to control everybody. One way, which we thought, was to also get guns, bomb them out, and then start the process of democratization of that power. I made a mistake, and I have freely admitted to it. We could have done it. Because we got the opportunity to do it. We took over power.
What went wrong?
What went wrong?
No, I think the point is not even power. You should have done it.
Yes.
In those 5 years.
Was there more democracy in the bush than when you got to Kampala?
There is no democracy in a military establishment.
You see.
And that is the mistake that I think some of us made. Because we thought we could use this to dislodge those who were controlling power and do what we thought was our ideology. Be guided by our ideology of transformation.
Exactly, Dr. Besigye.
Yes, but you see, this would have been entirely a willful act on our part, because the population was not demanding.
Yes, but
the population was not organized to force us to do their bidding.
Yes,
and this is why.
Listening to you, Dr. Besigye.
But you see, Charles,
just a moment. Listening to you, Dr. Besigye, I feel like I'm listening to Kizza Besigye, the National Political Commissar of the National Resistance Movement, defining the problem and saying what needs to be done. And I'm wondering if Dr. Besigye is nominated by the Forum for Democratic Change, he is a candidate on the ticket, and he enters the same governor's residence, if that makes a difference.
Yes, and this is why I plead with you to just give me a moment to emphasize the fact that transformation that we are talking about, that liberation, will not be mediated by just good men, like we thought we would. Good men, well-intentioned, they may. It's unlikely. It must be mediated by the actions of citizens. Citizens that are well-informed, citizens that are organized, and who therefore exert their will and force whoever is in charge of our country to act according to their will. Okay. That is why my mission, even in this candidature, and that is the struggle. So you must understand the struggle that I'm involved in, that I have set myself to be involved in, and the reason indeed I cannot leave that struggle. I have made it very clear to whoever cares to listen that I will not turn my back to this struggle for liberation, for transferring power, for shifting the power basis of our country. And I don't have to be in charge of the country for that struggle to be accomplished. But it requires, one, that our citizens are awake, and they become awake through campaigns, provided you are giving out the relevant information to tell them that your poverty won't end unless you have power, that handouts from the dictator and whoever is in charge of your country will not solve your problems. The only way you'll have what you need, the services you need, is that you have power yourself to force.
I am constrained. I want to.
Why don't you leave Mr. Museveni to continue and you concentrate on telling people that message?
Well, but you see, you can hear, you know, this is really frustrating. Even when you are discussing, you must discuss with something that is, you know, plausible. Because you are saying, why don't you just continue? How many times have I been in prison? The reason indeed I am in prison, the reason I am traumatized, the reason I am attacked with all kinds of things is so that I don't give out that message. And anybody who tries to give out that message will meet the same kind of response. So it's a struggle. It's a struggle that we are involved in.
Yes, Chris, you had an issue.
I don't even see why doctors should be put on the defensive. Because then unless we are addressing the big challenge of Uganda, or we are addressing the issue in our political parties. That was my thinking, that we are looking at our political parties, because I'm moving 2016. Onabito indeed asked a very deeper question, but I'm glad the doctor has taken responsibility and apologized for that, because the Luero war has become increasingly difficult to justify. And that question was very tricky from Anapito, but he has taken responsibility for that. There is no way Democrats would have been born in Luero. It is very difficult. But the point here is, I don't see a reason why Dr. Besigye is put on defensive. Because if you are talking about democracy, it is the will of the people. In this case, the will of FDC support that prevails. But I don't want us, in our initial commentation, to undermine the gains of FDC. This is where my focus is, Charles. Because when we talk about, you see, Dr. Besigye has been here, then it becomes a challenge. What I'm looking at here, what politics do we want? We keep saying, you see, Kenya, Uhuru Kenyatta, Grits Odinga, those fellows have matured, you have all sorts of things. But nobody is saying that Mugisha Muntu hugged Dr. Besigye on their nomination. This to me is, even if these gentlemen don't get to power, the two gentlemen are shaping the political processes in a better way. Because it takes Mugisha Muntu courage and kindness and openness to embrace Besigye, irrespective of what we think that Besigye is doing to Muntu. Muntu is not complaining, it is his shadow. I wouldn't expect Muntu to fear a shadow anyway, because he's been a general. He has fought really battles, not shadows. So the point here is, why don't we demand that the values that FDC now is trying to bring to the fore, of tolerance, accommodation within, even when you disagree, should be the ones espoused. That Muntu, whom we all think is disadvantaged by Besigye being there, he's a strong man. He has built the party structures. We accept that. Muntu has that charisma of accommodation. Besigye comes with his stamina of courage. Charismatic man, he's daring. So these are the choices that FDC is confronted with. It's presenting. But overall, what they are doing is not like other parties are doing. Besigye adhered to the FDC regulations. to get nominated, if I'm not mistaken. Muntu adhered to the party regulations to get nominated. Muntu, as a sitting president, could have undermined the process in FDC to gain advantage. He has cancelled his own campaigns because he thinks his opponent is being inconvenienced. So to me, beyond looking at who is going to lead FDC, I am also looking at what actually is that they are bringing to the table. As a Ugandan, I espouse that. Muntu and Besigye are not looking Babas and Museveni. Museveni is in the State House, he's using secretariat. Babas is so disobedient to the party rules and what. So they are commotion, they are fighting. I don't see that in FDC. That is what I want to see. But for us to begin saying, oh, you see what? Do you think Muntu is weak? That he fears Besigye? How did he win? So to me, beyond looking at who is going to lead FDC, I am also looking at what actually is that they are bringing to the table. As a Ugandan, I espouse that. Muntu and Besigye are not looking Babas and Museveni. Museveni is in the State House, he's using secretariat. Babas is so disobedient to the party rules and what. So they are commotion, they are fighting. I don't see that in FDC. That is what I want to see. But for us to begin saying, oh, you see what? Do you think Muntu is weak? That he fears Besigye? How did he win? So I think, irrespective of whether I support Muntu, I support Besigye, the bigger picture for me is, please, gentlemen, those are the images we want you to send to our children at home, in our living rooms. When they are watching political actors, they see Besigye hugging Muntu, and yet they are competing. This is what will change the mindsets of Uganda. It is not our pettiness here and there.
Let's pick it up after a short commercial break. And when we come back, we'll be interrogating what Dr. Kizza Besigye brings to FDC as he seeks the flag for that party to run for in the 2016 general elections. We'll be right back.
Turning on your world.
Richard knows that as much as he fears no challenge from Land Cruiser carburetors, Mitsubishi engines, or Subaru gearboxes, his wife Ruth fears no stain.
As long as I trust new Nomi White, I fear no stain.
Fear no stain, because new Nomi White just loves clothes.
Victoria University is a state-of-the-art, world-class university located in the heart of Kampala. Victoria University offers first-class facilities that include state-of-the-art clinical skills lab and simulation center, fully air-conditioned lecture rooms, state-of-the-art computer lab, spacious student lounge. Our faculties include oil and gas, health sciences, business and management, science and technology, humanities and social sciences. We offer job placements, and internships can be arranged for our students. Every student gets a free laptop. Enroll now. For more information, please contact us at the information below. Victoria University. Come prepared to learn. Leave prepared to succeed.
Actually, how do I tell her that I'm going to the market to eat some snacks and spicy food? Babu, if you say no, then I won't go anywhere.
It is good. For once, you're doing something sensible. Going to the temple often will be good for the baby and for your crazy head as well.
Welcome to this last segment of the Fourth Estate featuring retired Colonel Dr. Kizza Besigye. He is a nominated candidate by the Forum for Democratic Change, and his attempt to launch his campaigns was thwarted after the police deployed around his house in Kasangati, and when he got out of the house, he was sent to Nagalama, where he has been so regular. You've been so regular in Nagalama and so many police stations. What is it that you bring to this, to the FDC as a party, by seeking to pick the party's flag once again? That you think should justify should give reason to FDC supporters or delegates to nominate you?
Well, first of all, as I pointed out earlier, I have been in these processes for some time. And I think you have heard even recently, like General Sejusa, who were in the system, coming out to positively state that they stole our elections, even giving an indication to what extent our elections were stolen. And this did not come to us as a surprise, because indeed that's why we went to court. You may remember some of the evidence we took to court included the declaration of results form, where I would be having, for example, one which stuck in my mind. I had 500 votes, Mr. Museveni had 17. What the Electoral Commission published was that Mr. Museveni had 500 votes, and one would forgive them that maybe it was a typo, they exchanged the results, but I was given 0 votes in that polling. So we are talking about a situation where, in my case, it's not looking for political support to win, because I have already demonstrated that that support is there. Now, secondly, as I pointed out, the main struggle is that empowerment of citizens to assert their will. It's a process of empowerment. And, you know, we are using the electoral reforms simply as an entry point for citizens to demonstrate that will. Because at the end of the day, you know, in elections, citizens get the opportunity to check the leaders. In fact, an election is a process where citizens give power to someone to serve them. They cannot give power when they don't have it. And that's why Mr. Museveni has always said, you know, pieces of votes are pieces of paper. They cannot remove me. When people have no power, what they hold are simply pieces of paper. So my passion is that empowerment process, now focused on these reforms. And I am surprised that Onapito is saying, you know, the election is in February, those reforms cannot be there. Why? If people assert their will, the law follows the politics, not the other way around. It is us who say, who can say, even if the February election won't be there, and we are going to first get this done. And
can you explain? The law follows the politics?
Yes, absolutely. The law follows, in other words, people are not controlled by the law, people control the law. Because people make the law, they can change it, they can shift it. When the politics change, and that's why even when...
Isn't that the fundamental reason we have...
When we were in the bush, we were committing treason, without doubt. Our entire stay in the bush was treasonable. On 26th of January, we became government. Those who were in the government started committing treason. when they started challenging us. So the politics determine the law. This is what you need to understand. So if the people of Uganda...
Isn't that Uganda's fundamental problem, Dr. Besigye?
What?
That we haven't established such a regime where there is rule of law, where we respect the law, and we do not allow politics to subvert.
Yes, and that is why it cannot be established. You cannot establish a rule. This is what I'm saying. And these are very basic concepts. You cannot establish a rule of law when people, because the guarantors of that rule of law must be the people. Who else will guarantee it? So when people have no power, there is no way you'll have a rule of law, because then the one with the power becomes the law. And that's why Museveni is the constitution, is the law, is everything. That parliament or all these institutions, they are there simply to service that power. institutions service the power. And that's why if people have power, then you have institutions of them. Not this current institution. So the point here is that, you know, if the people's will now changes, and that is the purpose of my candidature and my campaign and all my life work, is to change the people's, you know, can you imagine? You pay somebody, you house him, you transport him, you do everything for him at a very great cost to yourself, and then you say, Mukama wange. He becomes your boss. This has now become cultural. It's part of our culture now. How does that servants, that you are servants, it's changing the mindset, and that's what I'm doing even now in talking about these things for those who are out there to understand that these leaders must be our servants. Today they are not. We are their subjects, and that's why we say Mukama wange njagala ya kantu. When you are the one, Mr. Museveni entered the State House when he had absolutely nothing. But now you heard him the other day saying all the money in this country is mine. If you want anything, you must deal with it.
I thought actually Dr. President going to say that we leaders, without excluding yourself because you are a leader,
yes, I am a leader. Yes, we must
the
be
subjects,
not
the people.
We must be the servants, and we must. So there is a whole transformation of minds, of roles.
But also the problem is,
and you will not have the rule of law.
Listening to you, Dr. Besigye, of course you strongly believe that you have a key role in bringing about this change. You believe that you personally will have a significant role, and that's also part of the problem. You are not talking of a group of individuals. You have already appointed yourself as the primary engine.
No, primary is your own word. I have certainly appointed myself.
Yes,
I have no.
And that's also part of the problem, because ultimately,
but not as the prime person.
You will see yourself increasingly as indispensable in this change.
But I cannot be indispensable. I cannot be indispensable when people have the power. That's the whole idea. You see this whole question of saying, the
same people have this tendency, unfortunately, to lift you. And most of you leaders, and that's most of us leaders get carried away by that way.
That is our campaign. Our campaign must reverse that.
You see, Doctor, even that argument, you see, I am a student of history. Most of us learned history. Worshipping leaders is different from having charismatic leaders. There has never been a successful revolution world over, the ones I've studied, that lacked a charismatic leader. Every revolution, including the Bunyoro, we talk about Kabalega. In the absence of Kabalega, maybe Bunyoro would have been overrun in a week. So you cannot discount the power that is in individuals. The discussion I think Doctor is saying is how individuals choose to use that power that they have. Whether you go, in America, talk about Abraham Lincoln, then talk about everybody in America. They are always gifted people from among communities who must stand up, whose values must be seen, whose courage must be demonstrated. We are not going to shut them down because we know there are others who abused that.
But also have the right message. They must have the right message.
The discussion should be, you are charismatic, you are powerful, you are inspirational, but how will you use that inspiration? How will you use that charisma? So I entirely agree. Even the NRM we are talking about, it is being in power because of Museveni. Remove Museveni from the equation, the NRM is not there. So we cannot rule out the power of individuals. There is a power of Onapito, which is Onapito's power.
And
anyone else cannot run corporate affairs in SMU like Onapito. No way. You can't say it's only Onapito doing it, but Onapito's role is very critical.
Yes, Chris. And the question that Onapito is raising, if I hear him well, is asking Dr. Besigye how he demonstrates that the message that empowerment of the people, does not translate into creating another big man.
But you see, that's called now speculative reasoning. No, deductive reasoning. Because one, there is evidence. You must then put you were FDC leader. What were your decision-making processes? It's FDC testify. Otherwise, for you to demand that how will he run a country, he's not in power. No, you get the point. Chris, so you can only hold the Besigye when you are FDC president. Is FDC leadership happy with the way you dealt with the party? so that we can know the charismatic Besigye actually is also an able leader. That's the debate that we'll be asking.
When you said Dr. Besigye took responsibility for the 1981 to 86 war, was primarily because those were the arguments being presented at that time.
Yes,
yes.
And the difference,
and
I'm surprised you don't grasp the difference. The difference is that this military machine actually, in the course of the war, disempowers people. But secondly, in itself, it is organized on the basis of command structure, orders from above. So at the end of the day, all the power in the military institution is appropriated by the one at the top. So this is the machine that came into government, which now we hoped would start the process of democratization of that power. So in other words, we get to power when the population is even weaker than when the struggle started, because war disempowers people. You know, they are made more vulnerable. Their property is taken. They are made more. Their lives are disorganized. Yes, they are made more vulnerable. And this is what is happening in northern Uganda. The northern Uganda communities are much weaker than they were before the war. So who will check this military machine once it takes over power when the communities are much weaker? That the fundamental difference between that and the campaign for civil empowerment and the population taking the power through their own actions, popular actions, is you know, a whole total difference. Because you've seen it here. You saw people when they got together and said, Mr. Museveni, you are not going to give away our forest, Mabira. And they stopped him. Without guns, without anything. You've seen them. The power that the Kabaka enjoys today is not because Mr. Museveni wanted to give him that power. The people of Buganda asserted themselves and showed the government they can have their power. That's why the Kabaka of Buganda, Sarasajja, is now strong. He would no longer be leaving his compound. They had said, you don't go to Kayunga, you don't go to this way, you don't, and it would have continued until he would be either in exile or under house arrest like I am. So these people empowerment is a gradual process. All these processes are empowering people. You've now seen them take that power to all levels. You've seen people in our town here, the traders, when they said, no, you cannot tell us all that nonsense, we are closing our shops. They closed the shops. The government orders which they had put on the traders, did they continue? The government was on their knees saying, you open your shops, now we have given up all these things. All these are processes of empowerment. And so once this becomes, reaches a critical stage, people will know that nothing can stop them getting what they want, from whoever it is.
We are running towards the end of the show.
But for me, I also get a bit scared about this power, be it be for the people, by the leaders, to what end? One of the things you have been rightly raised against opposition parties for all the time you have been in leadership of the FDC, either direct or otherwise, is what next would you do even if the people gave you that power and you had state power, using people power? What is the fundamental difference you'd bring to the economic equation? Because one of the reasons why people are not empowered is because they are economically disadvantaged. They are ready to receive from whoever has money. They are desperate. And most of the time you are talking for power as an end, apparently.
So it's the chicken and the egg, but let me show you, you know. No amount of good programs that we may espouse, and I'm telling you, even some of the things that our people enjoy is because of our struggles. You check the last campaign manifestos. There was no student loan scheme in Mr. Museveni's manifesto. Nothing. There was nothing about giving our senior citizens some some kind of welfare security. There was nothing. There had never been anything about, you know, whenever I go, what ordinary people remember in the villages is that there was graduated tax.
And that was your biggest mistake.
It wasn't. It wasn't. It is only that, you know, it's a question of formation. I'm not against tax. But why should our people be on ropes in order to extract 60,000 shillings from them?
Actually, 6,000, 10,000.
10,000. You could get 50, 100 without putting people on ropes. And, you know, so humiliating our citizens. And we stopped that. And many others, you know.
I remember sharing in hospitals and...
many things. But the important thing you need to understand, and that's why even if they take them on politically. Say we are now going to do this. They will never happen. But the important thing you need to understand...
but they're not effective.
Yes. In many of the campaigns I was in 2011, and we had a powerful manifesto in 2011, people are asking me that those are wonderful, you know, ideas, but how will they ever be implemented? How will you get the power? You know? Why should we listen to you when you will not be the man? You know? So that's why the fundamental thing is to solve the power question, that people have power and can be the ones to choose whom to give it. As long as that is not there, we are wasting our time. But as I am saying, I'm a very optimistic person at this point because I see our people really coming up. And you will see, just wait, just watch this space. You will see what will happen here. You know, and the terror is already running in the spine of the dictators. All these panic things, you know, what do they call them? Crime preventers and all these arrangements to stifle the people from asserting themselves. But we will assert ourselves.
Let me put two quick questions to you, and then I'll have Chris come in, and then we'll get out of here. One quick question. Mama Mbawaz is running. When you were being dragged out of your car, when the window was being broken, I have seen that transcript of an interview he gave the doorsteps of Parliament being played back. I'll not go into that. What does he bring to the struggle for democratization? And will you in the Democratic Alliance, which I know you are a part of, let him lead that process if he manages to break away from the movement or maybe come through the movement? And my question number two is, what will you do? A question Anapito put to you, if the reforms are not put in place by the time you go to the elections 2016.
You see, even if Honorable Mama Mbabazi brought nothing with him to this struggle we are involved in, just by his own individual presence in this struggle, it will be something added and removed from the other one. But we also know that he has competencies as an individual. He has ideas. They have been applied in the wrong area, quite obviously, for quite some time. If he chooses to apply them in the right area, that will be, which is the story, the argument you are having, that will be something. But I would also like to believe that he can influence others who are in the same situation like him, trapped in something they thought was a positive force. I believe he could influence others. I'm not sure yet to what extent, and that's what we are to see. But he could influence others and bring them on the what I believe is the positive side. So he brings something. He is a leader. He has been a leader, and he still wants to offer leadership. And I have no prejudice against anybody who wants to offer leadership. And I was really saddened by the news that NTV gave out last night, projecting as if I'm saying, you know, I'm going to rally behind Amama Mbabazi. That's not my mission. My mission is not to rally around somebody, especially who did not listen to me when I told them that in 1999 that this movement...
How could you listen to when you are jumping the queue? You
yes, so I could not be anxious to be the one, to say I am rallying behind you. No. But the point I'm saying is our fight is for a democratic dispensation. Our fight is for the transformation, the change of the state that I'm talking about. So if he commits himself to that project, and others commit themselves to that project, Professor Bukenya, Sejusa, other people commit themselves to that project, then it must be incumbent on me to be humble.
A small question.
Yes, it must be incumbent on me to be humble, to know that all these are leaders now fighting for the same things. Their backgrounds not with the staff.
On that point, Doctor, just a small one. Yeah. All those people, including ourselves, were with the President Museveni. Suppose you said he also joins a new dispensation with you.
If he converted.
Doesn't that offer Uganda a much more peaceful and better option?
Well, absolutely. If Mr. Museveni realized that he has, gone astray and caused a lot of misery and damage to our country, and even my brother Mbabazi have been, saying that, he needs to be clear in his message.
Have you had this discussion with Mbabazi?
Well, that is a matter that I am not willing to go into now. But he needs to be clear to say, we were on the wrong path.
Yes,
he needs to be clear.
The process of empowerment
and to say that, yes, I realize we were wrong in this way. But I still hear, some kind of a shy message. Something like, we were doing a good job, but it's time for Mr. Museveni to, lead the transition.
Doctor, I was on Abito's question focused on something I call consensus brokerage. I'm happy to see that there is some consensus message in NRM as people who have crossed the line. In politics, it's about that consensus brokerage. But we must respect the fact that public health experts have done this over time and discovered the consensus is difficult to arrive at if you envelop people who have suffering from that hands dilemma. And the states are good at using people. States can project a military man, a minister, anybody to do data work. The moment somebody gets into data work of the state and the state begins to distance from you, you suffer isolation. It is not because people are bad. The data hands dilemma eluded you, eluded Muntu, and that's why you're able to rally this country.
They dodged it.
No, they dodged it.
Okay.
Deliberately. You dodged it, and no one can fault Muntu on anything.
Okay.
Even when you say, I'm a commander, no one can fault you. But there are others who must contend with the data hands dilemma.
But they're also a critical mass.
Exactly.
And they have interests.
Look here.
Gentlemen,
once the state has used you and is throwing you out, it knows already that there are other critical issues that you must deal with to the people, not even to the state. Because the data hands dilemma in
Konyi, that's how Konyi would criminalize it, getting everybody to share into the crime.
That's creating a data hands dilemma. And some of the people have that dilemma. They have to sort it out.
But one of the things also that those people then run scared, and you need to assure them that
they will not be victimized.
Otherwise, they will also dig in and refuse to allow you to bring in.
That's why in that assurance, when I was misquoted by NTV, I am saying that if the process is therefore of bringing us together, were to cause one of those to emerge as a leader, then I must be humble enough to say, yes, let's go on, provided we are...
But that hands dilemma, Charles, is a message usually to those who are still serving the state.
Our time is out.
If the man who has been serving the state with that hands gets out and faces torture, the message being sent are still the state instruments. That even when you're a state instrument, remember not to dive into that hands dilemma. Because when you do wrong things, The society is watching you.
You know, I'm extremely, actually, to agree with you, extremely surprised that especially members of the ruling party and members of parliament were saying Amamo created this law, Public Order Management Act, so he should suffer the consequences, forgetting that they might be the next Amama Barrels. Our time is out. Thank you very much, Dr. Kiza Best, for making time for the show.
But don't
thank you very much,
FDC
and thank you very much, Chris Obari. Thank you very much to all our viewers for joining us tonight. Do join us again next Sunday for yet another exciting discussion right here on the Fourth Estate. From me, it's a good night, and thank you very much to the production team.
NTV, turning on your world.
Actually, how do I tell her that I'm going to the market to eat some snacks and spicy food? Babu, if you say no, then I won't go anywhere.
It is good. For once, you're doing something sensible. Going to the temple often will be good for the baby and for your crazy head as well.
This is NTV.
The following program is rated M and is only suitable for mature audiences. Parental guidance advised.
I've been saying for years, sir, that our special equipment is obsolete, and now computer analysis reveals an entirely new approach. Miniaturization. For instance, radioactive lint. Well, placed in an opponent's pocket, the anti-personnel and location fix seems fairly obvious.
What we want is location fix on 007. Number 10's making ugly noises about Operation Bedlam. Miss Moneypenny, have you checked with communications?
Well, replies to our Cairo, Amsterdam, and Madrid inquiries, all negative, sir.
The PM wants to be informed personally when we find 007.
Good morning. Bond. James Bond. Miss,
Don't move, Mr. Bond. Now get up. Put your hands behind your head. Move! Get in. Lie down.
this never happened to the other fella. Your bagage, sir? In the boot. You take care of those gloves.
Right, sir.
Commander Bond, how are you, sir?
Fine, good to see you, Manuel.
526.
Everything seems up to the Palacio's usual high standards.
Yes, it's a good season.
By the way, that red cougar outside, does it belong to a lady?
Yes, sir. Contessa Teresa de Vicenzo. Che bella. Our best. Fortunately, we have had a cancellation. Allow me.
This'll do. This'll do me nicely.
I'm sure we can look after your special needs.
I'm sure you can. Thank you.
Qu'est-ce que c'était ce cocktail?
Oui. À la ponte. Emile la banque. Give la banque. Encore? Banque. Les jeux sont faits, monsieur. Chargeur. Carte. 9 à la banque. D'accord. 4 000 à la banque. Give la banque.
Avec.
Ponte canier.
Suivi. Carte.
Carte. 9. Ponte canier.
20 000.
La banque 20 000. Give la banque. 20 000 à la banque. Give la banque.
Le banque à 20 000. 20 000 le banque.
20,000 francs.
Le banque à 20 000.
20 000 la
Too
banque.
rich for my blood.
20 000 la banque. Banque 20 000.
Banco.
Banque debout.
Carte.
Neuf. Back in here. Back.
Madame. Je regrette, madame, mais c'est impossible.
I regret too, but I don't have any money.
Dame can't pay up. S'il vous plaît, madame. Venez avec moi. S'il vous plaît, madame.
Forgive me. My mind was elsewhere. Madame has forgotten we agreed to be partners this evening. Please continue.
Merci.
40 000 à la banque.
That's a bit of luck, isn't it? Bailed out like that the last year. Waiter.
Don't bring your 57.
Sir?
Why do you persist in rescuing me, Mr. Bond?
It's becoming a habit, isn't it, Contessa Teresa?
Teresa was a saint. I'm known as Tracy.
Well, Tracy, next time play it safe and stand on 5.
People who want to stay alive play it safe.
Please stay alive. At least for tonight.
Come later. I hope it'll be worth it. Partner.
Send it to suite 423 with caviar for 2.
Oui, monsieur.
You're very sure of yourself, aren't you? Suppose I were to kill you for a thrill.
I can think of something more sociable to do. Now, let's stop playing games. Who was that man in your room?
You're hurting me.
I thought that was the idea of tonight. Now, who was he?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I can be a lot more persuasive, Contessa.
I'm sure you can. Whatever else I may be, I'm not a liar.
Get dressed. know, you're the most extraordinary girl.
I'm not interested in your opinion of me, Mr. Bond. I'm here for a business transaction.
Really? Isn't LeBlanc a bit heady for that?
So, you know your perfumes. What else do you know?
A little about women.
Think about me as the woman you've just bought.
Who needs to buy? Look, you don't owe me a thing. I think you're in some sort of trouble. I'd like to talk about it.
No, Mr. Bond. The only thing you need know about me is that I pay my debts.
20,000 francs is a lot of money.
Good morning, Commander Bond.
Good morning. Cafe complet for 2 with fresh orange juice.
Yes, sir.
Connect me with suite 423, please.
The Countess di Vincenzo has left the hotel, sir.
Checked out?
A few minutes ago.
Thank you. Paid in full as well.
Mr. Bond?
Yeah?
You've lost something. We'll give it to you outside.
Why not? Perhaps we can make up a foursome. You've thought of everything. What a lovely meeting again so soon. Thank you. And where's the party this time?
You have an appointment.
Business or pleasure? Mystery tour, eh? I think we'd all enjoy it more without that.
Do not kill me, Mr. Bond. At least not until we've had a drink. Then if you wish, I'll give you another chance. I'm Draco, of Draco Construction. But today is the 13th, Commander.
I'm super
for allowance. She committed some greater folly. To spite me. And yet, behind her bravado, something was eating away at her soul. This can happen to men and women. They burn the heart out of themselves by living too greedily. And suddenly, all is finished.
Why are you telling me this?
Without telling me she married an Italian count who killed himself in a Maserati with one of his mistresses. I gave her too much, and it brought her nothing.
Now, why I tell you all this?
I've been informed of everything you've done for my daughter.
Everything?
Don't worry about that. What you did, the way you behaved, might be the beginning of some kind of therapy. She needs help.
Your help.
I find her fascinating, but she needs a psychiatrist, not me.
What she needs is a man to dominate her, to make love to her enough to make her love him. A man like you.
You overestimate me, Draco. She's very attractive, but what you ask is not for me.
Listen to me. On the day you marry her, I'll give you a personal dowry of £1 million in gold.
That's quite an inducement. But I don't need £1 million.
Stupido.
And I've a bachelor's taste for freedom.
Please, just see her some more. Who knows what will come of it?
I'm sorry, Draco, but in my profession I can't.
Huh?
You have connections not open to me. Where is Ernst Stavro Blofeld?
Blofeld? Some of my men have recently defected to him. I don't know where he is.
Can you find out?
If I could, I wouldn't tell Her Majesty's Secret Service. But I might tell my future son-in-law.
Go on.
Next week is my birthday. For that, Teresa always comes back to me. You understand?
Let's say I'll sleep on the idea.
You do that.
James, where have you been?
Much too far from you, darling.
Same old James. Oh, only more so. Heartless brute, letting me pine away without even a postcard.
Pine no more. Cocktails at my place. 80s, just the two of us.
Oh, I'd adore that. If only I could trust myself.
Same old Moneypenny. Britain's last line of defense.
You better go in. He's running a very tight ship today.
I'm relieving you from Operation Bedlam, 007.
But, sir, Blofeld's something of a must with me.
You've had 2 years to run him down.
Does this mean you've lost confidence in me?
I'm well aware of your challenge, 007. The license to kill is useless unless one can set up the target. I'll find you a more suitable assignment, that's all.
So under the
That's all.
That was a quick conference. How do you expect a girl to keep herself alluring?
Take him, Penny.
Ready, James?
Sir, I have the honor to request you will accept my resignation, effective forthwith.
Resignation from what?
Her Majesty's Secret Service. And kindly present us that monument in there.
Underneath the mango tree, me honey and me come watch for the moon.
Sorry, ma'am. James Bond here.
He wants you, James.
Request granted.
Request granted. Not even with regret.
What did you expect? A knighthood? Why don't you read it?
2 weeks leave.
You didn't really want to resign, did you?
Moneypenny, what will I do without you?
My problem is that you never do anything with me.
To date, the moment I get back.
Where are you off to?
Oh, just someplace to laze about. Beachcombing.
What would I do without you, Miss Moneypenny? Thank you.
There's Tracy. Huh? Tracy. Where is she? There she is. Teresa.
Happy birthday, Papa.
You make it so by being here. You look marvelous. There's someone I want you to meet. Come on.
Salut, William. How is you?
Come on,
Good
Teresa.
to have you back.
You look wonderful.
From the
Mr. Bond. May I introduce my daughter, Teresa.
Contessa,
Mr. Bond and I have already met.
but each time is a renewed pleasure. Madame always makes one feel so welcome.
She likes you, I can see it.
You must give me the name of your oculist.
William, I didn't know Mr. Bond knew Papa.
I think there are many things about Mr. Bond one does not know. It would be interesting to attend night school, perhaps.
Papa is up to something, I'm sure of it.
Your father loves you very much, Tracy. Whatever he may arrange. I know.
What has Papa arranged?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Many happy returns.
The best years are still to come. Let's hope.
Oh.
Please sit down, ladies.
What are you doing here?
Yes, wasn't it kind of your father to invite me?
Mr. Bond and I are discussing a business deal, Teresa.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
No woman would waste this excellent champagne discussing a business deal. Unless, of course, she happened to be part of the arrangement.
Olymp, what have you said?
Don't blame Olymp, Papa. I'm not your daughter for nothing.
I detect a certain family resemblance.
I suggest you revise the terms of your contract, Mr. Bond. You'll find your liability far too expensive.
Ah, now, there you're mistaken.
Papa.
Yes?
Mr. Bond wants some information.
I wonder what you're talking about.
You always taught me that a good host supplies his guests' needs.
Uh-huh.
And without obligation.
And then?
I'm not sure obligation is quite the right word.
Tell him, Papa. No. Now.
Please, Teresa. There's only a possibility. Nothing definite.
Tell him, Papa, never see me again.
All right. All right. There may be a connection between that man Blofeld and the lawyer with offices in Bern, Switzerland, named Gumboldt.
Gumboldt, Switzerland.
Yes, Gumboldt.
So. Now, Mr. Bond need have no further interest in me.
Another mistake.
She always was a headstrong child. I'm sorry, Where's he gone?
Tracy. Tracy, I was always taught that mistakes should be remedied, especially between friends. lovers.
We have all the time in the world, time enough for life to unfold all the precious things love has in store. We have all the love in the world. If that's all we have, you will find we need nothing more. Every step of the way will find us with the cares of the world far behind us. We have all the time in the world just for love, nothing more, nothing less, only love.
I'll get cracking on this appointment and catch up with you.
The story of our life, James?
Just keep my martini cool.
I will be back in an hour.
Bon appétit, monsieur.
Ich habe noch ein paar Sachen zu kaufen.
Ich glaube, man.
Such things should be left to a girl's father, who knows what is best for her.
But what could be better than being in love?
But Mr. Bond is in love with you?
That may come too, someday.
Life's too short for someday, Teresa. Tomorrow I will speak to him alone, man to man.
No, Papa.
Why not?
No talk. Whatever happens, there'll be no regrets. Please.
Baugesellschaftsrat.
Sehr gut, das heißt noch. Kann ich nur empfehlen.
Ah oui, oui. Au fond, la deuxième à droite, poste 280. Oui, c'est à droite. Oh.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Hammond. Is the Admiral in?
Certainly, sir. Excuse me, sir. Commander Bond to see you.
Right, show him in.
Aye, aye, sir. If you please, sir.
Thank you. Unusually small for an Nymphalis polychloris.
I wasn't aware that your expertise included Lepidoptera. But what are you doing here? I thought you were on leave.
Genealogies are a fascinating subject. Came across a letter from the Bruder Gumbol, solicitors in Switzerland, to a certain Count Balthazar de Blauchamp.
De Blauchamp?
French form of Blofeld.
You've been relieved from Operation Bedlam 007, do you remember?
I assumed you'd reassign me, sir. This is a photostat copy of a letter addressed to our College of Arms in the City of London, with the request that they undertake to establish de Blauchamp's claim to the title. And Sir Hilary Bray, he's the sable basilisk of the college, has replied to Gumball suggesting that he should meet de Blauchamp in person. Now, I've already taken the liberty, sir, of working with the college on this, using an examination of my own family tree as cover. I've also been reading up on the technical side of heraldry. Sir Hilary Bray, please. Commander Bond.
Ah, yes, sir.
So that should he consent to a meeting, I could act as a representative of the college.
Come. Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Sir Hilary.
Have a look at this. Let me take your coat. Arms of Sir Thomas Bond, Baronet of Peckham, died 1734. Argent on a chevron sable. 3 besants. Good motto, eh? The world is not enough. Gideon's doing a splendid job.
Thank you, Mr. Sable Basilisk.
We've traced your line back to Sir Otto de Bond. Held the manor of Wickham's brew by a knight's fee from the Earl of Thanet. 1387. We're in luck. Gumbo's telephoned from Bern to say that his client has consented to see me.
You mean me?
Yes, you. But, Commander Bond, I'm only able to countenance this deception on your assurance that the matter is of national importance.
I haven't exaggerated, and my department appreciates your help very much.
All right, then during the deception period, I've arranged to lose myself amongst the churches of Brittany. I want to do some brass rubbings there anyway.
Fine. Where do I go for this meeting?
Ah, they're being a bit canny about that. They want me to send a description of myself. Tactfully adjusted to favor me. Yes, they will send the time and place from where I am to be, collected, as they put it. It's not our sort of thing, but under the circumstances.
Sounds as if they're suspicious.
Oh, no, not suspicious, just discreet. There was no objection to my fee of 1,000 guineas.
Could their claim be genuine?
It's hard to say at this point. Our methods are very exacting. We never like to speak until we're absolutely certain that there can be no possibility of error on our side or forgery on anybody else's.
I hope I can live up to your high standards.
Oh, one helpful physical point might be that the real de Blauchamps are without earlobes. It's not the sort of thing that we rely on, of course. But it could help.
No earlobes.
And you might try inviting him to Augsburg. The de Blauchamps have been coming from there for generations.
Yes, if he is our man, I'd like to get him away from Switzerland.
Sir Hilary Bray, Baronet.
The same, dear lady.
I'm Fräulein Irma Bund, personal secretary to the Count.
How do you do?
Have you had a good journey?
No, quite intolerable. I'm not a good traveler, I'm afraid.
I'm sorry. Can't have you take your luggage?
No, I can manage.
I take it.
Oh, there.
You know Switzerland, Sir Hilary?
I'm afraid not, Fräulein...
Bund.
Bund.
Interesting name for a genealogist. Are you from a naval family?
Naval?
It's a nautical term, you see, meaning the baggy or swollen parts of a sail. Nothing personal, of course.
Interesting. You speak German?
I'm afraid not.
French, perhaps?
A little. Where are we off to?
You will not be disappointed. Please? Like the bucks and the rug, yes? You are comfortable?
Yes, indeed, Fräulein. Your kindness is quite overwhelming.
Good.
Komm, Alter, komm, komm, hopp.
So we are halfway. Now we will have a little flight.
I've never been in one of these things before.
And first you must your pipe knock off.
Knock out, you mean? I hope.
Mind your head, Sir Hilary.
Please fasten your safety belt.
Now up into the Alps. That is avalanche damage. You enjoy the skiing or the bobsleigh, perhaps?
I'm not a sporting man, Fräulein. Even when I'm at my best.
Do you feel the air sickness? Up to there is for the public. And from here upwards, it is strictly private. No one at all may come through without permission from the Count. There is the Blanchard Institute for Allergy Research.
What kind of allergies?
All of them. Like the hay fever, or the sickness caused by the oysters, or inability to eat meat. The Count is the great specialist in this.
I'll be glad to get my feet on the ground.
Not ground, eyes.
I should warn you, guns make me very nervous.
They're to keep away the spies from the chemical companies. Many times already they have tried to steal our discoveries.
Yes, we live in a world of avarice and deceit.
Here at least is no avarice.
Really?
The Blanchard Institute is not for profit, Sir Hilary. The Count does his work for the sake of mankind.
I'm very happy to hear it.
He wants to leave his mark on the entire world.
Characteristic ambition.
Characteristic?
Of a true humanitarian.
Formerly it was a sports club, open to the public. Now it belongs to the Count. who has given it to scientific research. Joseph, Sir Hilary Bray will take number 4. I will show you there after Grunter has taken you for medical examination.
I'm quite all right now.
You are our honored guest, Sir Hilary.
Thank you.
And after your experience in the helicopter, we must make sure that you are entirely well again. Grunter, take Sir Hilary to Dr. von Zahn.
Ja, Fräulein.
Direktor, bitte.
Yes?
Der Engländer ist gekommen.
Provide him with the usual comforts.
Ja. You have 10 minutes. And then take them to number 4.
Ja.
If you wish anything for your comfort, you must ring this. And the attendant will come.
Very considerate, thank you.
You must also ring for him to open the door when you wish to leave.
Rather a complicated arrangement.
To stop patients leaving their rooms and disturbing each other when they should be resting. The Count believes very strongly in undisturbed rest.
Prudent fellow. When can I see him? We have a great deal to discuss.
He will send for you, Sir Hilary, when he's ready. Meanwhile, I should very much like for you to join me in the Alpine room before dinner.
Alpine room?
Yes. Grunter will come for you. Shall we say 7 o'clock?
Thank you.
Fräulein Bund will receive you.
Black and squashy. Sticks on the toes of elephants.
Lots of lemon stuff.
Sir Hilary, please come to meet our patients. Ladies, this is Sir Hilary Bray, Baronet.
How do you do?
He's a famous genealogist.
You will have a drink, yes?
Please, come and sit down.
How do you do?
Hello.
Thank you.
What is a baronet?
It's a kind of inferior sort of baron.
Oh, how disappointing.
Well,
Oh, I don't mean you're inferior. I mean the title is.
Yes, but what's a genealogist? What is that?
Pommy word for an old people's doctor.
Ah, so he's here to cure Fräulein Bund. Watch yourself, she's got ears like an elephant.
What will you drink, sir?
malt whiskey and branch water, please.
Hey, I'm sorry I was so rude about what a baronet is.
You gave a very accurate description. Sir. Thank you.
I say it's a treat having a man here for once.
You mean there aren't any others?
Only the staff, and you can't really count them. I mean.
We will not discuss the affairs of the clinic.
Yes, but what is a genealogist? Will nobody tell me?
It would give me great pleasure to tell you.
Well?
Genealogy is all about ancestors and families. I mean, it could easily be that any one of you here is related to a royal house. If only we could go back far enough to find out. Now, if you will tell me your
We do
name...
not use surnames here. It is the rule of the clinic.
Oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't know that.
Come, it's time for dinner. Our schedule is rather strict. So is our diet. Please, Sir Hilary, if you would sit there between Helen and Ruby.
I'm afraid I've never had much to do with young ladies.
I have ordered you a steak piece gloria. I hope you enjoy it.
Thank you, I'm sure I will.
Can I have the rice?
Are you here for Christmas, Sir Hilary?
Well, I might be if...
Oh, good. Then we can have a party before we go.
I mean, that sort of thing's not quite in my line.
Delicious. I used to hate chicken. It used to make me break out. It was all over. You'd be surprised where.
Potatoes did it to me.
Now I adore them.
No medical histories, please.
Now, girls, I'm sure Sir Hilary would like to tell us about the College of Arms in London.
Go on, Sir Hilary, please tell us.
Please, oh,
If you'd really enjoy that.
please. Yes, we promised
Would you?
Oh, come on. Tell us all about it. Yes.
The Heralds' College, or College of Arms, consists of 13 members of the royal household, appointed by the sovereign to superintend armorial, genealogical, ceremonial, and other matters. The 13 members are divided into 3 categories: kings, heralds, and pursuivants. Their titles and offices are of great antiquity. When I tell you that the first Clarenceau King of Arms was created in 1334, and the first Somerset Herald in 1448. Now, when we authorize a coat of arms, it can include all sorts of funny things. Crescent moons, portcullises, beasts couchant and rampant, bars, bezants.
Please, what is bezant?
Gold balls. I've brought a book on the subject with me. There's a picture of my own coat of arms, actually, which includes 4 of them. If you'd care to see them.
I'd love to. I'm in room...
No. He will give the book to me. I will pass it to everyone in turn. It is fair like that, yes?
Of course, if you think so, Fräulein.
Is anything the matter, Sir Hilary?
Just a slight stiffness coming on in the shoulder. Due to the altitude, no doubt.
The Count will see you now, Grunter will take you there.
Thank you. Please excuse me, ladies. May all your allergies be swiftly cured.
Nice man.
Of course, I know what he's allergic to.
Peasants.
Antisepsis. Please wait here.
Good evening, Sir Hilary.
Good evening.
Baron Thazar, Count de Bloshout.
If you'll forgive me, that's what I'm here to find out.
To confirm, Sir Hilary, there can be no doubt of the truth. Please sit down.
If there were no doubt, I'm sure the College of Arms would not have sent me.
Well, since you are here, I'll make everything very plain to you. To begin with, I was born without earlobes, a well-known congenital distinction of Blochamp ancestry, like the Habsburg lip or the hawk nose of the Medicis.
Granted. But the fact that you're a de Blochon ancestry doesn't necessarily make you the reigning count.
I feel it in my blood and in my bones.
I'm afraid the College of Arms will require more concrete proofs.
And it shall have them. I have assembled all the relevant documents, title deeds, certificates of birth and death. They'll be sent to your room for authentication. And you've only to ask Fräulein Bundt for anything at all you may require. Are you quite comfortable here?
Yes, thank you. But a little puzzled by your remarkable clinic.
Well, the methods of the great pioneers have often puzzled conventional minds. I've devised a cure for allergies, which depends on holding an unusual and rather delicate psychological balance. So you see, I must impose rather special conditions on my patients.
And, your laboratories?
The cure is not entirely psychological, Sir Hilary. There are special vaccines to be prepared. Vaccines which must be modified to suit each individual case. So you see, I'm a very busy man, and I may not be able to spare you as much of my time as I might wish.
If you wish to be confirmed as Count de Blochon, you must give me some of your time. I must have details of your living relatives, also your parents and grandparents.
Well, the documents that you will see...
can answer many questions, but not all. Oh, one more thing. It would be very helpful if you could accompany me on a visit to Augsburg.
Augsburg?
The ancestral home of the de Blochon family. There are notable Blochon tombs in the cathedral and some important records in the city archives. If you yourself were there to assist with your personal knowledge...
That may not be convenient for some time, but I'm determined that my title shall be recognized. In any event, you may proceed with your preliminary research.
I shall be happy to start straight away. Thank you, Herr Gunther.
Alarmstufe 1 für die Wachmannschaft. Du achtest dafür, dass alle eingeschlossen sind. Der Gast darf nicht gestört werden. Du hast zwar nichts gefunden, aber bleib wachsam. Dass mir keiner den Herrn Direktor stört. Du bist für alles verantwortlich.
Ja, ja.
Book.
No, don't tell it on.
I want to see the pictures.
But you're a picture yourself, and twice as lovely in the firelight.
You are funny, pretending not to like girls.
Well, I don't usually, but you're not usual. That lipstick was an inspiration. So are you.
Oh, Sir Hilary.
Call me Hilly.
Hilly.
What's your name?
Ruby Bartlett, from Lancashire. Morecambe Bay, actually.
How did you get here?
Do we have to talk about that now? It's true!
How did you get here?
Well, I had this awful allergy about chickens. My family's got a chicken farm, and every time I had to do something on it, I nearly died. The specialist said there was this wonderful Swiss clinic where they cured you free because they were researching at the same time.
Go on. No, about the clinic, I mean.
Oh. Well, the specialist had me meet Fraulein Bunt in London, and she said I had a very interesting case.
How right she was.
Oh, Hilly. Oh, bother. No, Hilly. It's part of the cure.
Cassette number 7. Number 8.
Do you remember when you first came here, how you hated chickens? How you were sick when you even saw one? But all that is over now, for I have shown you how foolish it was, and your cure is nearly done. I have taught you to love chickens, to love their flesh, their voice. Yes, your cure is nearly done, and soon you will go home to look after the chickens, which you love so much.
You do love me
But
just a
I must
little,
teach you
don't you?
one more thing before you go. I must teach you how to give them special care. I will tell you what to do.
Ruby.
I will tell you when. I will tell you how. And after you've done what I teach you, you will forget it forever. Forever.
Hilly, you old devil.
It is me, yes?
Quite undeniably, yes. How did you get out?
With a fingernail file. It's so easy.
I wouldn't know.
I come to see the book, the pictures, yes?
Oh, jolly good idea. Now, where did I put it? I had it a few moments ago.
Perhaps if we turn on the light.
No. You're a picture yourself. And twice as lovely in the firelight.
But Sir Hilary.
Hilly,
But I think you do not like girls, Hilly.
usually I don't. But you're not usual. Coming here like this was an inspiration. And so are you. You need to be.
What do you say?
I said a miracle our meeting like this. I don't even know your name.
I tell you all about myself later. In the morning.
Tu vois là-haut, il y a la clinique qui t'attend.
Hey, what about a lift to the top? It is not permitted. All is private.
But surely there's a restaurant, a sports club up there. I've seen them advertised.
It's all closed now.
Since when? I've seen them advertised, I tell you.
You are mistaken, sir. For many weeks now they're finished.
All right, but I'd still like to get to the top.
From here upwards now is forbidden! Private! Closed!
All right.
Sir Hilary, your stiffness of last night, it is all gone?
For the time being, I think.
Then come and do curling with us, Sir Hilary.
Won't that be frightfully energetic?
No.
We will show you.
Perhaps you'd like to teach me.
We're leaving very soon, Hilly. I must see.
8 o'clock tonight.
And the man was alone. Ah, good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Good morning, Sir Hilary, and how's your research?
Riveting. And very promising, too.
I've never heard anything so ridiculous in all my life. Since when has climbing a mountain been a criminal offense?
Excuse me. Beats Gloria, sir. It's private property.
The whole bloody house? Ridiculous.
There are many signs.
Come, Sir Hilary.
And my servant warned you down at the station.
You throw, I think it is.
Oh, no, sir. I had my throw. Made a mess of it, I'm afraid.
That didn't count. You can throw again. Come on.
Oh, yes, go on.
Very civil of you, Fräulein.
Doesn't entitle these students to start shooting at me? Who the hell are you anyway?
I am the director of this institute. Sent down by cable car, and you will refrain from troubling us again.
What about all my clobber? My belongings, please?
Well, they will be sent down later.
But they're mine, damn it!
We have certain rules which must be observed.
The authorities will hear about this.
Good day, sir.
Director, or Count, as I think I can now safely say.
Yes.
I thought I'd take the afternoon off, so if you're sending the cable car down...
But you already had the morning off, Sir Hilary.
Must have a bit of fresh air. Those ancestors of yours are very hard work.
And the College of Arms is being very well paid.
Well, if you put it like that.
I do put it like that.
Why don't you let me show you what I've achieved, and then we can plan this trip to Augsburg and finish it all off.
Not over Christmas. The archives would be closed, would they not?
Come, girls. Time for our massage. Girls, that is enough curling for today.
I must see you tonight.
9 o'clock? 10. Well, back to work. You've no idea how it's piling up. Ruby, it's me. Hilly. Hilly's so sad that Ruby's leaving. Has that old cow told you?
Fancy meeting you here, Fräulein.
Merry Christmas, 007.
I'm Sir Hilary Bray.
Oh, no, Mr. Bond. Respectable baronets from the College of Heralds do not seduce female patients in clinics. On the other hand, they do get their professional details right. The Beauchamp tombs are not in the Augsburg Cathedral, as you said, but in the St. Anna Kirche. Sir Hilary Bray would have known. A small slip. Takes more than a few props to turn 007 into a herald.
It'd take more than cutting off your earlobes, Blofeld, to turn you into a count.
I may yet surprise you, but I'm afraid that you have no surprises left for me. I know all about your mission, Mr. Bond. Your colleague, such a keen climber, such a brilliant conversationalist, before he left us.
You realize he reported where I am?
I doubt that. In any case, no one's going to come to your rescue. In a few hours, the United Nations will receive my Yuletide greetings. The information that I now possess the scientific means to control or to destroy the economy of the whole world. People will have more important things to think about than you.
They believe your threat.
Oh, they will. In any case, I have prepared a demonstration. Remember that disagreeable outbreak of foot-and-mouth disease in England last summer? Well, I shall instruct them in very convincing terms exactly how I arranged that and my capacity has improved since.
Allergy vaccines? Bacteria. Bacteriological warfare.
With a difference. Our great breakthrough since last summer has been the confection of a certain virus omega.
Infertility.
Total infertility in plants and animals. Not just disease in a few herds, Mr. Bond, or the loss of a single crop, but the destruction of a whole strain, forever, throughout an entire continent. If my demands are not met, I shall proceed with the systematic extinction of whole species of cereals and livestock all over the world.
Including, I suppose, the human race.
I don't think, do you, Mr. Bond, the United Nations would let it come to that? Not after their scientists analyze a small sample of virus omega they have received.
Epidemics of sterility. Nothing is born, no seed even begins to sprout. They'll find an antidote.
Of course, if I give them enough time.
They'll have time. Once they're warned, you'll have a problem dispensing the stuff.
That problem has already been solved. I have been training my own special angels of death.
Those girls.
Those girls. And many others like them.
But exactly how?
That will remain my secret.
And how many hundred millions do you want for your services this time, Blofeld?
This time? This time the price is of another kind. You'll be even more amused when you know what. In the meanwhile, I will keep you here as my guest. You'll be very useful in helping to convince the authorities that I mean what I say. And I'll do what I claim. Come, let me show you to your new quarters.
NTV, turning on your world.
Richard knows that as much as he fears no challenge from Land Cruiser carburetors, Mitsubishi engines, or Subaru gearboxes, his wife Ruth fears no stain.
As long as I trust new Nomi White, I fear no stain.
Fear no stain, because new Nomi White just loves clothes.
And the change of government won't stop a thing. I've run out of fingers counting the number of multinationals setting up here. What about the 3 companies that announced their plans to launch last week? I say they're shortly. Me, I'd be looking to sell. At what price? More. Much, much more. I don't know who you are or how you know these things, but one thing I'm sure of, you're in the wrong job. Here, call me tomorrow at 9 o'clock in the morning. I'd like to hear more from you.
Are you ready for your big break? The East African, understanding the region.
You're likely to be with us for some time, Mr. Bond. So first, a little therapy to soothe your restless nature. Oh, poor fellow. He was restless too. You perverse British, how you love your exercise. Every year, dozens of amateur climbers. They wind up in the same predicament. A kind of waxwork show for morbid tourists. Dear Jimmy. Now, Mr. Bond, you must learn to be absolutely calm before we can accept you back into polite society.
presents from the Count himself in appreciation.
Why won't you open mine now?
Oh, no. It is more fun to open them all together, yes. Please sit down. We will wait for the others.
Eggnog on Christmas Eve, just like home.
It is a treat for the going away party. Your very good health, my dears.
Cheers.
It has been so nice to cure you. It has something special in it for the Holy Night celebration.
And now you're going on a journey home. But first you must rest for a while. Rest. Rest. Rest. our secret. Yours and mine, our secret. And after you've done what I teach you, will you forget it? Forever. Forever. Forever. And now you may open your eyes again. Each of you has been given a present. Such a prettily wrapped present. Now is the time to open them. Open them. You see, they're beautiful, and you're longing to know what is inside. You may use anything but the atomizer, which you must never touch. Never, until I tell you how and where to use it. Open the compact. Adjust the volume control. Every night at exactly 12 o'clock, you must be alone, so that you can switch on that receiver and listen for my voice. I'll tell you what to do. I will tell you when. And I will tell you how. After you've heard what I say, push the mirror back to conceal the receiver again. Push it back now. Then close the case. Now rest again. Rest. Rest. In a few minutes, you will wake up. You will not remember what I just told you until you return home.
Please, girls, we are in a hurry.
Merry Christmas.
I'm sure it wasn't as cold.
Maybe you should have been gift wrapped. Where?
He's making for the village.
All right, we'll head him off at the precipice.
Idiot.
Sowas von Idioten!
Darling, you're in trouble. What is it?
There's people after me.
Can I help?
Have you got a car?
Outside.
Let's get out of here.
Stay close to me, James. Not far now. Near side door.
Maybe he didn't see me.
I wouldn't go back on that.
Giving up bad habits, eh?
James, where are we heading?
Nearest post office to contact London.
I know Feldkirch. Why are they looking for you?
Suspect they're trying to kill me.
Drive on!
No sign of them yet.
Or of someone saying thank you.
Thank you, Tracy. You've got sharp eyes and beautiful earlobes. What were you doing so near Piz Gloria?
Now I have a new interest in life.
Winter sports, eh? Very wholesome.
Just one winter sportsman. And Papa told me where to find him.
Just keep my mind on your driving.
Good, there it is, James. Hurry.
Good girl. Turn left. That crowd might discourage them. Looks like we've hit the rush hour.
We must stop him!
How do we get out?
Knock him out of the way!
I hope my big end will stand up to this. Get out!
Keep straight!
We can get out there.
If you said so. We didn't even stop for the prize.
I told you that crowd would discourage them.
Oh, that's all we need right now.
Pull in there. Keep moving, I'll open the door.
Sorry about the accommodation, Contessa.
We should have rung ahead and booked.
If only I'd got through to London.
Or at least you get another chance.
But when?
Let's get some rest. We'll push on as soon as we can.
At least it's dry.
What really went on up there, James?
Her Majesty's Secret Service is still my job.
But there isn't anything you can do about your job at the moment, is there?
And why are you thinking about it now?
I'm not. I'm thinking about us. Tracy, an agent shouldn't be concerned with anything but himself.
I understand. We just have to go on the way we are.
We'll have to find something else to do.
Are you sure, Jane?
I love you. I know I'll never find another girl like you. Will you marry me?
You mean it?
I mean it.
You three keep going.
Deep enough, I think, to prevent even 007 from walking. Get the girl.
Sir, Red Scrambler.
I'm here. Yes, we're standing by as instructed. I understand. Thank you, sir. Well, no decision has been announced yet. Of course, it's a total news blackout. But my informant was very plain.
How plain, sir?
They're going to buy Blofeld off. Go ahead, sit down.
And the price?
Amnesty. A full pardon for all past crimes. Official recognition of his title when he retires into private life as Captain Bluchon. He seems to set great store by that. Very curious thing, snobbery.
When will they conclude the deal?
Blofeld wants to know of the council's decision not later than midnight the day after tomorrow.
So that gives us time to get to Pitt's Gloria first, in force.
No, 007. My instructions are quite clear.
But, sir, destroy the Institute and destroy Blofeld and his virus with it.
It's been rejected as too risky. Those girls. God knows how many, let alone where.
Sir, if we destroy the center of communication that controls those girls, without Blofeld's voice, those girls can do nothing.
But I have my orders, 007. You have yours. Forget it.
And the girl who helped me escape, we just leave her there.
This department is not concerned with your personal problems.
This department owes her a debt. She saved my life.
Operation Bedlam is dead. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. I understand.
Your call to Marc-Ange Draco, head of Draco Construction.
Oh, Draco?
Yes, who is it?
Bond. James Bond.
Thank God, James.
I'd like to interest you in a demolition deal that requires certain aerial activity to install equipment.
Are you sure we're going to find Teresa when we get up there?
I'm pretty certain, even if she's not there, there's a good reason for going anyway.
So you've explained. Quite a crusade.
And it's a time for celebration.
Perhaps. If they agree.
They can do nothing else and you know it. And they know it. I shall be able to offer you anything your heart could wish for.
Paid for with how many lives?
Oh, come now, Tracy. Don't be so proud. Your own father's profession is not entirely within the law. His brotherhood also have exotic ways to keep it a closed shop.
All approach calling unidentified aircraft over Baal. You're flying in controlled airspace. We have no flight plan filed on you.
I think some people don't know we're crusaders.
Over.
Now, if you're very, very nice to me, I could make you my countess.
Unidentified aircraft.
But I'm already a countess.
Identify yourself.
Whereas if you displease me, I can promise you a very different estate.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes?
There is something on the radio you should hear.
Pilot's name and destination. Over.
Excuse me.
This is Zurich information calling unidentified aircraft. Over. I repeat, this is Zurich information calling unidentified aircraft.
Well,
it is
that helicopter is one of three. None of them have answered air control.
And?
There are suspect aircraft in the vicinity.
Pilot's name and destination. Over.
Zurich, this is Foxtrot Golf Sierra, leading Red Cross helicopter flight, carrying Red Cross medical supplies to Italy. What's the trouble?
Over. We have no record of your flight plan or registration. Over. I repeat, we have no record of your flight plan or registration. Over.
Then your registrations must be out of date. Over.
Foxtrot Golf Sierra, this is Zurich information. You must land at Zurich and report. I say again, land at Zurich and report. Over.
Do you wish to commit murder? I told you, this is a mercy flight, carrying blood plasma and emergency equipment for the victims of the Italian flood disaster at Rovigo. I repeat, mercy flight. You understand me?
Golf Sierra?
Yes.
Zurich. Very well, you may proceed. Out.
You see, it is nothing.
That seems to have settled it. In case one or both of us is delayed on the way home, it's better to have a rendezvous for later.
Before we start getting sentimental, I think we're being followed.
I've been thinking about your proposition. Please, tell me more.
This is military air control. There is no record of your mission. Halt across to Zurich and land. Fighters have been dispatched to intercept you. Over.
I suggest you check your records again. Carefully. Over.
I repeat, return to Zurich and land. Over.
Check with Geneva. Check with Red Cross in Geneva. Meanwhile, call off your Air Force, which is making my passengers sick.
You are carrying passengers?
Of course I am. Distinguished representatives of the world press. They've had enough of your nonsense. So have I.
Over and out.
Helicopters, we've been attacked. Get our positions covered.
Thank God, Teresa.
Guns make me nervous.
You've done your share. Get to the safety. Let's go. And you, get the circuit set up now. Let's go.
Fuse is set for exactly 5 minutes and 10 seconds time. The whole place will be sealed off forever.
Will that give the Englishman time to get out?
He knows the schedule. Where are you going?
Papa, where's James? But we can't leave him!
He doesn't need your help!
I will not go without
You'll have to! Spare the rod and spoil the child, huh?
He's branched off. Never mind that. Go and get the brandy, huh? 5-star Hennessy, of course.
Your Royal Highnesses, my lords, ladies and gentlemen, the toast is the bride and bridegroom, Mr. and Mrs. James Bond.
Anyway, it is a pleasure. Meet the man who cost me 3 of my best operatives.
Yes, November 64, the bowling job. You got away with quite a chunk of the haul. Tell me.
Congratulations, 007. I must confess that I've sometimes thought you a little,
Irresponsible?
Exactly, that's exactly the word. Thank you. This time, my boy, I can't complain.
Nor can I.
Teresa?
Yes, Papa?
Look, James, I know that we haven't always exactly seen... Well, anyway, don't forget, if there's anything you ever need...
Thank you, Q, but this time I've got the gadgets. I know how to use them.
All right. Remember, obey your husband in all things. You promise me?
But of course I will. As I've always obeyed you.
Of course. Well, James, I wish you luck. For the first and last time, remember?
An old proverb. Her price is far above rubies, or even your £1 million.
Teresa, just because you're Mrs. Bond, don't forget my birthday next year.
Have I ever?
Both of you. Or maybe all of you. Come on, James. Hey, happy. Be happy, my daddy. Come on. On your way. Au revoir. Drive carefully.
Miss Moneypenny, what would you do without me?
I always cry at weddings.
007 never had any respect for government property.
You know I haven't given you a wedding present yet?
I had an idea about that. 3 girls, 3 boys. Pleased?
Not bad for a start. But darling, now we have all the time in the world. He's got a point. We do look like an ad for a flower shop. And that reminds me, I didn't even send you flowers.
Anyway, you have given me a wedding present. The best I could have. The future.
Mrs. Bond, shut up. And don't eat it all at once.
He loves me
Instinctively.
infuriatingly.
Intensely. Indubitably.
First a boy and then a girl.
It's Blofeld. It's Blofeld.
It's all right. It's quite all right, really. She's having a rest. We'll be going on soon. There's no hurry, you see. We have all the time in the world.
NTV, turning on your world.
Effective Monday, 6 July, screening time for your favorite drama series, The Hostel, is Monday at 7:35 p.m. Behind Closed Doors will air Wednesday to Friday at 8:05 p.m. and repeats on Saturdays at 3 p.m. Brave Woman will be showing on Tuesdays and Wednesdays at 10 p.m. and repeats will air on Thursdays and Fridays at 11:30 a.m.
No more waiting for your client to view their ads only when there's a TV screen. Your ads can be mobile and extremely affordable. Advertise for as little as 15,000 shillings on NTV Mobi and be seen everywhere. If you don't have an ad, our epic graphics team is waiting to put an ad together for you. At NTV, there's no such thing as a small business. Be part of the experience. Call now. NTV Mobi. Advertising redefined.
Empty stomach. It's true that many prisoners have lost their lives, but the hunger strike in general has proved effective.
Israeli members of parliament are currently reviewing a law to legalize the force feeding of Palestinian prisoners who go on hunger strike. If passed, the new law would close the door to one of the only ways prisoners jailed without charge can protest against their arrest. Imtiaz Taib, Al Jazeera, Jenin in the occupied West Bank.
Mexico's president says he's confident authorities will soon recapture Joaquin Guzman, one of the country's biggest drug lords. Guzman is also known as El Chapo, and he escaped from a maximum security prison through a tunnel that was dug under his cell. Victoria Gatenby reports.
Mexican police have set up checkpoints on roads near to the high-security prison from where Joaquin El Chapo Guzman escaped. Cars are being searched and the nearest airport has been closed as they hunt for one of the world's most wanted men. Mexican security officials say he got out through a sophisticated 1.5-kilometer-long tunnel dug from a building outside the prison to his cell.
The tunnel has PVC pipes, presumably for ventilation, lights and a motorcycle adapted for rails with a traction mechanism.
The last time Guzman escaped from prison, it took the Mexican military 13 years to find him. His capture back in February 2014 was hailed as one of the biggest blows to the drug trade in decades. El Chapo, translated as Shorty in English, is small in stature but cuts an imposing figure in the world of narco-trafficking. He's even made Forbes magazine's billionaire list. His Sinaloa cartel is said to control some of the most lucrative drug smuggling routes from Mexico to the United States, trafficking heroin, cocaine, methamphetamine and marijuana.
His expertise is being a specialist in logistics. His organization is able to move cocaine from South America to Mexico, to move chemical precursors which was used to do meth from Russia to Mexico, from Southeast Asia into Mexico in order to be processed and to create meth and deliver it worldwide.
Guzman was arrested in 1993 but bribed his way out of Mexico's highest security prison. He escaped in a laundry basket. This web of tunnels linking 7 homes allowed him to evade capture for more than a decade. During that time, he consolidated his drug cartel and built popular support by providing people with money, jobs and security. When he was recaptured in 2014, thousands of people took to the streets to show support for a man they saw as their savior. Guzman's escape for a second time is a major setback for the Mexican government, which is often accused of corruption by its own people. Victoria Gatenby, Al Jazeera.
Pope Francis is wrapping up his 8-day South American tour, addressing pilgrims in Paraguay's capital, Asunción. Large crowds gathered beside the Paraguay River to get one last glimpse of the head of the Roman Catholic Church before he flies back to Rome. Earlier, the Pope held an open-air Sunday Mass and also visited a slum. The Argentine-born pontiff, who didn't this time actually visit Argentina, also went to Ecuador and Bolivia during his first South American tour since becoming head of the Catholic Church. Police in Chad are warning that anyone wearing a full-face veil will be arrested. It comes a day after a Boko Haram suicide carried out by an attacker disguised as a woman wearing a veil, killing 15 people in a marketplace in Jamina. The police say the attack shows a ban on the veil is justified. Thailand has returned 109 Uyghur people to China. Beijing says that they were on their way to the Middle East to join armed fighting groups there. The government also says 13 of them had fled China after being implicated in attacks. The Muslim Uyghur people live in China's Xinjiang province and speak a Turkish language. It's thought hundreds have traveled to Turkey via Southeast Asia. Now, although India is one of the world's largest milk producers, it has a poor yield per animal. But it's now hoping to change all that by using the Murrah buffalo. Native to the northern Indian state of Haryana, the animals can produce up to 32 liters of milk a day. That's more than any other cow or buffalo, as Fez Jamil now reports.
This is Yuvraj, the proud father of thousands of calves. Weighing in at 1,500 kilograms, this breed of buffalo called Murrah is becoming highly prized for its longevity and toughness. But for some farmers, the big money comes from breeding.
He's made a lot of difference. I make more than $2,000 selling one of his calves, where a regular one would sell for less than $200. People keep asking me if there are any more of Yuvraj's calves.
Aside from selling calves, Singh also makes money selling Yuvraj's semen at about $475 per milliliter. Many are repeat customers.
The buffalo produced with this semen are very large. They produce a lot of milk, and the calves they produce are also good quality. They sell well.
And the potential of the Murrah buffalo to make farming more productive, especially when it comes to milk, has the state government involved in promoting the animal. There are very few Murrah buffalo bulls of Yuvraj's quality in the entire state. Because of the amount of milk the females can produce, nearly 10 times more than a typical Indian cow, the government here is using science to help increase the Murrah buffalo population. About 50 kilometers away at this government research center, different types of buffalo and cows are being studied. Semen samples are taken to determine fertility and health. Scientists here have studied the Mora buffalo for decades, working to breed a stronger variant of an animal they say is already more robust than other buffalo or cows and produces better milk.
Fat, it is having more protein, more calcium, more phosphorus, more minerals, more vitamins, resistant to most of the diseases. Buffalo is having more adaptability to the climate change.
Despite the research, most states still haven't adopted the Mora buffalo as a primary source of milk. But recent efforts want to change that, with Moras already being exported to several other states and to countries in Eastern Europe, Asia, and South America, with the goal to increase milk production in India and abroad. Fez Jamil, Al Jazeera, Kurukshetra, Haryana.
Well, you can find out much more on that story and everything else that we have been covering on our website. You can see it on your screens right now. Our top story, Merkel says trust is lost at the last-ditch Greece talks. We're speaking to our correspondents at the start of the program, saying those talks still going on in Brussels to try to decide the future of Greece within the Eurozone. Now, a reminder of the top stories on Al Jazeera. In Brussels, top-level discussions on a potential Greek bailout deal are continuing into the night between European leaders. Greece has been told that it must bring in a series of key reforms tabled by its European creditors before it can get any new financial assistance. They include extensive privatizations and cuts to benefits.
I'm here ready for an honest compromise. We owe that to the peoples of Europe, who wants Europe united and not divided. We can reach an agreement tonight if all parties want it.
A series of bombings targeting Shia neighborhoods in Baghdad has killed 35 people. A total of 81 people have also been wounded in the attacks on Sunday. The deadliest was in the northern Shab neighborhood when a man wearing a suicide vest detonated it, killing 9 and wounding 25 others. An agreement that would place limits on Iran's nuclear program in exchange for sanctions relief appears to be in the final stages. Negotiators in Vienna, including U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry, are trying to get a deal done by Monday. France's Foreign Minister Laurent Fabius says talks are in the last phase. The UN says some of Libya's warring factions have agreed on the framework for a peace deal after months of talks in Morocco. But the Tripoli-based General National Congress, one of Libya's 2 rival governments, has rejected the deal. There is hope that the GNC delegation will return to the talks after the end of the Muslim holy month of Ramadan. A Palestinian who had been held in an Israeli prison for a year has returned home to a hero's welcome in the occupied West Bank. Hader Adnan started a 55-day hunger strike in April and was transferred to hospital last month. He'd been held in detention 10 times in the past 16 years. One of Mexico's most infamous drug gang bosses has escaped from a maximum security prison for the second time. Mexican officials say that Joaquin Guzman escaped through a 1.5-kilometer tunnel running from his cell to a disused building outside the prison. The last time that Guzman, also known as El Chapo, escaped prison, he managed to evade capture for 13 years. Those are the headlines. Coming up next on Al Jazeera, it's Witness. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
In all my reporting across Africa, what I've come to realise is that people have come to expect the absolute best from Al Jazeera.
Their grip on this city is tenuous at best.
They expect that the information we deliver is absolutely correct and that the story we tell them is fair, it's balanced and it's right.
Adım Sezai Boztepe.
Sivas'tayım. Sivas'ta doğdum. İstanbul'da yaşıyorum. Taksi işiyle uğraşıyorum. Girip çıkmadığım sokak, cadde yok. Şu anda mesela İstanbul'da hiç boş yer yok. Dağlar, tepeler her tarafta olmuş. Ben birçok insan tanıyorum ki İstanbul'da yaşıyor. Artık İstanbul'dan, stresinden bıkmış, usanmış. Yani dört gözle emekli olmayı bekliyor ki gitsin köyüne yerleşsin. Mesela bunun örneğinin bir tanesi benim babam. Emekli oldu. İstanbul'un stresinden gitti, bir daha gelmiyor. Babamı da çağırsak hani gel falan desek yine de gelmiyor. Çünkü beni özleyen gelsin görsün diyor. Bizi oraya çağırıyor yani. Sana çay vereyim mi? Çay vereyim. Ama biz de buranın hayat şartına alıştık. Benimle iş bitmiyor tabii. Eşim var, çocuklar var. Onlar da burada bir kurulu düzenleri var, okulları var. Zaten orada biz gitsek de yapamayız. Çünkü oranın işleri hep bize yabancı. Yani geldiniz mi? Hadi kızım kahvaltını yap, hemen gideceğiz, tamam mı okula? Ben taksiye geç kaldım artık.
Sezai, babanı aradın mı? Kaç gündür aramadın?
Ya işte fırsat bulamadım, bugün arayacağım.
Araba, unutma da.
Tamam. Şimdi ekmek de ye.
İyi dersler.
Sen misin Sezai? İyiyiz oğlum, iyiyiz, sağ ol. Çoluk çocuk nasıl? İyi. İstanbul'da hava nasıl? İyi iyi, bizim hanım da iyi.
Selam söyle benden.
Bak selamı var sana.
Aha.
Hanım onun da sana selamı var. Aleyküm selam.